What's going on, people? It is your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto. We're going to jump right into the charts in just a second. I know I've been away for 2 weeks. I want to say I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you follow me on Twitter, at Chris Harris 85 here, BT Chris, BTCHIRIS, HRIS. That's me. You can follow me on Twitter. I made this post 2 days ago. I do make posts on Twitter every now and then. Especially if I haven't been making videos for a while. It's just an easier way for me to get my thoughts out there in a more concise way. It doesn't take 20 minutes of your time or 30 minutes of your time like these videos do. You can get the idea in a lot more of a concise manner. I might even be funny or kind of more of like a dick on Twitter, but that's just how Twitter is. So anywho, I want to jump into this real quick and just show that my tweet here, people are saying this is a head and shoulders pattern, which is a topping pattern, not a bottoming or continuation pattern. First pick, this. I saw someone, not very popular, but a semi-popular Twitter profile talking about this being a head and shoulders pattern. And I don't know how this guy's popular. I'm not gonna talk about him. I'm not trying to talk crap. I'm just more questioning how this is a head and shoulders pattern, because we're at the bottom of a range. Head and shoulders patterns don't happen at the bottom of a range. An inverse head and shoulders pattern does, but a head and shoulders pattern does not. It's a topping pattern. It's a reversal or a continuation pattern at the top. It's not something you see at the bottom ever. To me, what this more likely looks like is a range. And we're going to get into that in just a second. Here we're on the Binance chart, the Binance BTC USDT tether chart. The reason we're on that is because talking about volume, Binance USDT has the most volume. And I think that that's going to be relevant for identifying if this is a head and shoulders pattern. So first, let's just do that. Here we've got our first. I'm gonna take my magnet off because it's being a pain. We've got this first shoulder here. We've got the head here, and then we've got the next shoulder. Oops. Got the next shoulder here, right? First of all, you can see this shoulder is already higher than this shoulder. That invalidates it, in my opinion. If the fact that this head and shoulders pattern was at the bottom didn't invalidate it enough for you, the right shoulder being taller than the left shoulder, in my opinion, that should invalidate it enough. It looks too stretched out. This head, I mean, it kind of looks like a head and shoulders pattern, and I think the market makers might have designed it that way to psych people out, to get them to think the market's going to go lower. But again, remember I was talking about the volume. Why we're looking at the Binance USDT chart is because of the volume. A head and shoulders pattern traditionally, not always, volume isn't always exact, but traditionally you get a big spike in volume at the left shoulder, and volume decreases. It decreases as you progress through the pattern. Where here we got a decent spike in volume on this left shoulder, but it's been increasing the whole time. You've got a higher right shoulder. You've got this head and shoulders pattern at the bottom of a downtrend, and you've got increasing volume. I don't believe this is a head and shoulders pattern, you guys. I really don't believe it is. What I do believe it is, as I was saying earlier, is it's a range. We're in a range. If you're a trader, you love ranges. I love ranges. It makes things easy. It makes things so easy. It might be boring, but whenever you get to the sweet spots, it's almost like a no-brainer. And talking about a no-brainer, if we drew this range, and you can see we have parts where we broke out of this range totally. We even closed below it yesterday, but we're back above it now. We might have done a fake out, a classic fake out, which happens. That totally happens. With the Fed meeting and everything yesterday, we had a big pump during the Fed meeting, but then we came down and closed for the day really low. I think that spells a classic fake out. Anyways, long story short, we're at the bottom of this range. If you're a trader and you notice that you're at the bottom of a range, what do? You look to buy. If you're at the top of a range, you look to sell. If you're selling here at the bottom of this range, you're doing it wrong. You are doing it 100% wrong. You should have sold up here. If you're holding all the way down here and you're thinking about selling now, just don't sell, man. Just wait. It's not financial advice. It's just my opinion. I'm trying to become a better trader. I'm trying to help other people maybe find themselves as traders too. That's the whole point of these videos. And in my opinion, selling at the bottom of a range is not a smart thing to do. If you're trying to make money. And right now, but besides all that stuff, I think it's obvious that we're at the bottom of a range. When Bitcoin closed below this yesterday, when we were at I think we're at 18,200. I actually opened up a long down here. I took a 5x long, not with a lot of money, but I put like, I don't know, I don't even know. I probably have like half a Bitcoin long right now. Not of my money. That's half a Bitcoin in leveraged money, going long. I don't like to talk about numbers too much, because I don't know. That's not my style. I really don't like to talk about like my numbers, like what I have invested or what I don't. But um, anyways, that's another philosophy thing. I'm not trying to get into that. What I am trying to get at is I went long down here, and so far it's playing out all right. I took a 5x leverage. We're at 2.75% increase on the day. I'm up personally about 15% on my trade, and if this is a range, if you're a trader, even buying here, we're at the bottom of the range still. If you were to take a 5x leverage long here and close your long for gains at halfway through the range, roughly halfway, that's a 13% gain. Times 5, you're making 65% on your investment, on your trade. Not an investment, sorry, on your position. That's the word I was looking for. If we go to the top of the range again, you will make 28 times 5. You're going to make an over 100% gain on your position. If we break out of the range, it could be even more. It could be even more. We'll get to that. I do actually think we're going to break out of this range. But for now, I think what we need to look at is what's going on maybe halfway through. I always like to look at the halfway marks between things. If I put a line right in like the middle of this range, you can see, I guess it's a little bit on the upside, maybe like right there. You can see we got some resistance here. We found some support here. We got some resistance here. We did disrespect it a little bit here. I think this line would be a good profit-taking zone. It might even make sense because if we drew a trend line from this top here and we drew it to that one there, if we were to go up in a decent fashion, not a dramatic fashion, if we were to go up like this, we could, through the end of the month and the beginning of next month, see that exact target being hit. It could happen something like that. We could then form another lower high and then come back down. If we were to do something like this, I would full-heartedly expect that we would break out of this range and go lower, completely. I almost expected us to break out of this range now, but the fact that we bounced here and then we came back down and we got a lot of volume down here and we wicked on this day, to me, it just doesn't feel like we're ready to break out yet. If we were going to break out of this range, we would have done it already, and this hasn't been a place where a lot of people are like, oh yay, it's low, I'm going to buy. This is the place where everyone's freaking out that Bitcoin's going to go lower. Even though we're at the bottom of a range, people are freaking out that we're going to go lower. And when that happens historically, in my experience and others who have been in this space that I know personally, that's normally the best time to buy. So I took that experience, I went long on it, I put my money where my mouth was, and so far it's working out so well. We'll see if it does. We'll see if I eat my words. If this trade, if it goes below the purple line again, I will take small profits, enough to cover my fees probably. I just won't take a loss. And that's how you properly manage your risk, basically. A good trader is not someone who's right 9 out of 10 times. A bad trader is not someone who's wrong 9 out of 10 times. A bad trader is someone who can't manage their risk properly. A good trader is someone who can. You can be right 99 out of 100 times, but if you're right 99 times and that 100th time you're wrong and you don't know how to manage your risk properly, you're going to lose everything you made those 99 times that you were right. I promise you that. If you are wrong 99 times, but you manage your risk properly and you don't let it hit you that hard, or maybe you got in like me, you're in the green right now, you think it's going to go higher, but you're wrong. You were wrong, and it doesn't go higher. You can at least cut your losses, or cut your gains before they turn into losses. So you might make a little money or just lose a little bit of money, but when you are right that one time, after managing your risk properly, you still have money, you still have what's the word I'm looking for? You still got a position in the game. I don't know. You still got skin in the game. That's the word I'm looking for. You can do something with that money and then make gains that one time that you're right. It's not about being right and wrong. A good trader doesn't care about that. A good trader cares about risk management, and that's what this is all about. So, in my opinion, if you were to buy down here, if we were to break out of this range, if we were to go below this purple box, I think it's a good time to buy around now. But if we were to go lower than yesterday's low, it might be a good time to sell, Me, I kind of bought yesterday's low, so I'm not going to sell if we go down there. I'm going to sell if we break out of this purple line. If we go below like 18,007, really, I'll probably sell actually if we go below 18,006. Personally, that's just me. I don't expect that to happen. What I do expect to happen is potentially something like this, or honestly, if we can go, I think we're going to break out of this range. I think this move, if you guys remember actually back here, back in this time, people were calling for us to go up to 28K. That was the move people were calling for. I remember here, like this whole time, I was saying, this move was a bull trap. We're going to go lower. We did go lower. And I didn't think that we would hold the bottom here. I did think we were going to go lower than that. But now that I've seen this volume come in, that's also why we're on the Binance chart. You know, it kind of helps us identify. We see this volume come in. We see the reaction to the area down here, to this whole area. It looks good. This is the only time right now that we haven't bounced yet. If we do bounce off this, you know, maybe it'll prove that theory right. But I just remember everyone, what I'm trying to get at is that everyone down here was, you know, on this move up, was calling for us to go to 28K all the way up here. We didn't get it. You know, everyone got shit on, and now everyone's calling for us to go lower. Now we're down here, and everyone's calling for us to go below 10K or even below 14K. You know, some people are calling for us to go just below 17K even, but everybody's calling for us to go lower when we're down here. When people are calling for us to go lower and we're at the bottom of a range, in my opinion, that's a great time to buy. So that's what I did, and that's what I think anyone who's a trader would probably do. They would buy at the bottom of a range. The fact that if you bought at the bottom of this range, and we have more volume here on this low, you can see we have more volume here on this low than we did on this low. We have a lot more volume. To me, this looks really good. We not only have more volume, but we've still got some wicks to the downside. We've got 3 days, 7 hours left in this week. We got a wick that's bigger than the candle body of this week already. I think that we can definitely do some damage to the upside with all this volume and with this price action. If we bounce here, it's going to be kind of like a double bottom, right? We're going to kind of get a double bottom. And on a double bottom, you normally get a sizable move up, a pretty sizable move up. And the sizable move that I think we're going to get is going to be, in fact, that 28K to 29K move that everyone was looking for back in August, back in like late July, early August, or I guess to, yeah, mid-August. I think we're going to get that. I think that that's going to happen now. I didn't think we were going to get it then. I am starting to think we're going to get it now. I'm calling it right now. We might move all the way up to 28K. Now, some of you, if you remember my first video, if you saw it, you're going to be like, well, Chris, what about your Elliott wave theory? What about the wave 5? Maybe none of you even know what I'm talking about because I don't even have that many followers, you know. But from here, from 0, if we go there, 1, that's wave 1. That's wave 2. That's wave 3. I was calling this wave 4. And then I was saying we were going to break down wave 5, come down to 14K, potentially. Potentially, I think I said in like late October or late November, somewhere in that time. Still could happen. I don't think that we're making that move right now. What also could happen is this wave 4 could not be done yet. This wave 4 could totally come up to 28 or 29K. It could be, you know, it could definitely come up here. If the price decides to go from here to up here real fast and then come down, that could happen. That's entirely possible. It might not come down after that. We'll see. What would invalidate this wave 4, the idea that this area down here is a wave 4, would be if we had an above 50% move from a wave 3 retracement. Wave 3 being here from top to low. Wave 3, 50% is roughly at $29,300. I don't think that's entirely right. I want to put my magnet on and get this right. I want to be precise with this if I can. 29,141. So really, if we go just above $29,000, this wave 4, my whole wave 5, my 3 impulses, my 5 wave count theory to the downside will be invalidated. I don't believe that's going to happen. I think that that's going to hold true. I'm sticking with my original thought, but let's be fair. We can totally come back up here. We can go above this last high and still call this a wave 4. We totally can. As long as we don't go above that green line, we're still unfortunately set up to go lower. And if we look at it, we draw a trend line from this here, from the top to the next top. Where's that green line at? Right there on October 10th. The fact that we have all this volume here, the fact that we've got wicks to the downside, and we've basically formed what's not like a conventional looking, it's kind of an ugly looking, but it's kind of like a double bottom. The fact that we formed this, I think we're going to get a harder, bigger bounce on this move up than we did on this move up. It took us from bottom to top here 9 bars. Really, it took us 10 bars if you include that low bar, but 9 bars to make that move. I'm expecting it to take us less bars now. How many bars is it to that green line from here? So 9 bars right now would put us actually there in November 21st. I don't think we're going to get there. If we're holding this resistance line as resistance, if in 9 bars we're still holding it as resistance, we're only going to go up to 25K, which is still a nice move from here. But I think this move is going to happen a lot faster. I think it's not going to be a nine bars this way. I think it's going to be maybe half that, you know? So let's say 4 bars. If we take 4 bars and we bring it up, or I guess 3 bars, 4 bars, 3 bars, whatever, that's kind of half. That actually puts us right at this line, this resistance line, from high to lower high to lower high, and it would just fit perfectly with the Elliott wave theory. Not only that, we would have a higher high than this high here. It would psych a lot of people out and make them think that, oh, we've got all this volume, we double bottomed, we've got a higher high, bear market's over. You're going to see a lot of people start saying that if we get into this price range, especially if it happens quickly, especially if it happens in dramatic fashion. If we trickle up, you know, honestly, if we didn't just jump up there, if we trickled up there, if we just like meandered our way up there like that, instead of just shooting up like that, I would be more convinced that the bear market's over. But I'm not anticipating that right now. I am anticipating it to be a quick move. If we get a quick move up to these ranges, in my opinion, that's a sucker's rally, classic, right? Just like this was, just like this was, just like this was, and it's just classic bear market behavior, in my opinion. You get everybody bullish, and then as soon as they're bullish, you just pull the rug on them again. Right now, everyone's bearish. So why, if everyone's expecting to buy lower, would we go lower? It doesn't make too much sense. It did for a little bit up here, you know, but like, because to me, this wasn't a strong enough move. We didn't have a whole lot of volume, but now we got all this volume. I know I keep saying the same stuff over and over again. I'm going to stop talking here in a second. I promise we're almost done, you guys. But the fact that we've double bottomed here, we've got all this volume in, I do think that this move is going to happen quicker. We're going to move up higher and faster than we did in this move. And I think that that's going to happen all within the next, probably within the next 3 to 4 weeks. Probably, I mean, before Halloween, before the end of October. I'll go as far as even saying before, I don't know. I hate making time frame predictions because honestly, I'm wrong on time frame predictions a lot. But sometime in late October, mid to late October, it would not surprise me if Bitcoin was above, if it's not at 29 to 28,000, it would not surprise me if it was at least above this high here at 25,211. That's all I got for you right now. That's all I wanted to say. I wanted to get this out there because it's been a second. I've been meaning to make these videos. I do still think that we're ultimately in a macro bearish trend. I do believe that this 5 wave count, this 1, 2, 3 waves is happening. I do think that's formed. I just don't know if we're done with our wave 4 yet. Our wave 4 might indeed, in fact, come all the way up to here. It could look something like that. It's not necessarily pretty, but it could look like that, and then we could come down for a wave 5 down to 14, 16K, kind of like I was predicting, you know. It could look like that. It's not as pretty looking, but it does fit the agenda of a 5-wave count down, 3 impulses down. I'm still under the impression that this is going to happen. I am under the impression that 17,622 is not the bottom, but we'll see. We'll see. What would invalidate that for me? What would make me change my opinion on that? We got to get above this yellow line. If we get above that yellow line, and in fact, actually, let's throw even, and if we get above that purple line too, if we can get above that purple line and this yellow line, if we can get above the, let's see, we're on the weekly, so let's go, I want to type in the 21 week, because everyone likes the 21. It's very useful. If we get above the 21 week, that'll look good. That'll look very good. But if we can get above the 50 week, I think is really the one that I wanted to do. 50 week. Then that really, yeah, 50 week. It's kind of around where that 123 was. I don't know. For me, honestly, regardless of the moving averages, if we get above this yellow line, I'll be convinced that I'll start to be convinced that the bear market's over. Technically speaking, we'd have to form a higher high, but that's way up here. I think it'd be a bit absurd to say that the bear market's over. Like if we made a move like this all the way up finally, I mean, it wouldn't be like this. It would like zigzag, right? Whatever. But if we made a move all the way up above that next high, the bear market's not over here. The bear market was over down here, if that was to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. Again, that's not what I'm calling for. That's not what I expect. I do expect us to find resistance on that trend line there. It's the last time I'm going to say it. I do expect us to get a quick rally up to this trend line. We haven't touched it in a while. And then after we hit that trend line, we'll have our final pursuit to the downside, our final move down, and we'll find our market lows, our cycle lows. And then we'll see from there. We'll see from there. But right now, this is all predictions. This is all in the future. This is all like months away. We have a lot of time to go for that. I'm looking at the short-term time frame right now, what's coming in the next month. And in my opinion, what's coming in the next month is we are going to move up to this line. Literally within the next 3 to 4 weeks, I think we are going to move up to this line, which right here, within 3 to 4 weeks, is at $29,000, which is, you know, or even 20 to 29,000, which is at the bottom of this last range. What was support becomes resistance, right? If we're looking at our MACD here, we've got bullish divergence on the MACD forming, at least on the oscillators. I guess the histogram hasn't validated its bullish divergence. I'm sure we could adjust the parameters to make it smoothed over to where that is bullish divergence. To a degree, it kind of is. But the RSI here even is bullishly diverging on the daily. We've got bullish divergence on the weekly too. It's going up. We've got lower lows on the weekly with the RSI going up. We've even got green forming on the MACD with lower lows forming. That is bullish divergence at its most ridiculous, you guys. The oscillator even is bullishly diverging down here. Things are looking good. Things are looking good. Not only that, not only all that stuff, but at a very basic, simple level, what I started the video with, we're at the bottom of this range. We're at the bottom of it. It's a great time to buy. In my opinion, it's a great time to buy. If you want to trade, it's a great time to buy. If you want to invest, I mean, with that much volume coming in, the fact that we're below 20K, I don't care if it goes lower. I do think it's going lower, but if you want to buy below 20K, I'm not going to stop you. I would never try to talk anybody out of buying under 20K. I will always give my opinion. In my opinion, even if someone told me they want to buy below 20K, I would tell them that's a great idea. I would tell them that's smart. You're not gonna be upset with that in 5 years. You're gonna look like a genius in 5 years if you buy there. But I would also tell them, I do think we're gonna go lower. I do think we'll probably go below 16K at the very least. But that doesn't change the fact. I mean, 19K, buying here at 19K or buying at 16K. If Bitcoin goes up to $1 million one day, what's the difference? You know what I mean? If it goes above $100,000 one day, what's the difference? It's, you know, don't be greedy, be smart. If you're an investor and you're looking to invest, you're at the bottom of a range, at the lowest range that we have in this current bear cycle. You have the most volume that's coming in. You're buying at a great time. You'd be buying at a great time. All that to say, I do think inevitably that this low is not the low. I do think we will break it. But in the meantime, before that happens, that could happen in months from now. Before that happens, I think right now we're making a move up. I think that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna psych a lot of people up or out. We're gonna have them all excited that. Sorry, I'm drawing things. It's incorrect. It'd be more like that. Something like that, way faster. Anyways, yeah. That's all I got for you guys. That's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to get that out there and share that. I wanted to make a video. It's been a while. To me, this just looks like it's destined to happen. I mean, it just really, to me, it really does. Like it almost makes sense. And what makes more sense than that, even what makes more sense than predicting the future, is looking at the present moment, realizing that we're at the bottom of a range, and realizing that regardless of if you believe it's going lower or higher or whatever, you're at the bottom of a range with sizable volume. It's a good time to buy. It really is. So that's all I got. That's all I wanted to say. I hope this was entertaining and informative enough for most people. I hope you all make money. I hope you don't lose money. And if you do lose money, I hope you learn from it. You know, that's all. That's at the end of the day, that's all you can do. If that's what it comes to. Learn from it. Come back. I know a guy who he's made like hundreds of millions of dollars in his life. I remember years ago I talked to him and he was like, I'm gonna take the charts away now. I'm just gonna blow my face up. We're gonna philosophize for a quick second. And he's a father actually to one of my good friends, and I'm not using names of course because you just can't do that. But I was talking to him one day. He noticed that I was down. He's like, Chris, why the long face? What's going on? Like, why are you sad? And I was like, like honestly, man, I'm like, I lost all my money in crypto. Like, I was living at my mom's house at the time. I think I lost all my money at this point like 2 or 3 times. And he's like, he just laughs. He looks at me. He's like, did you hit zero? I'm like, yeah. He's like, have you hit zero before? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like, hit zero a couple more times. He's like, you'll figure it out. He's like, I did. He's like, I probably hit zero like 5 times. He's like, you got to do that to figure it out. And this is coming from a guy that has hundreds of millions of dollars. And it inspired me. It inspired me. And hopefully it inspires some of you. You can hit zero and you can come back from it. You can't come back from it if you quit. You can't come back from it if you give up. So don't quit. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Look for opportunity. Opportunity is always there. It always, if it doesn't look like it is, you're just looking in the wrong place. And right now, guys, I can't think of a better opportunity than being at the bottom of this range to buy, at least for a short-term gain. If not, even if you're looking to invest, even if you're dollar cost averaging, buying below 20 grand is a great opportunity. We are in a great opportunity right now. Regardless of my views thinking that we're going lower, I'm buying right now. I'm prepared for higher prices, and I think everyone else should be as well. My daughter's starting to cry, so I'm going to end it there. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you all make a lot of money, and just live good lives. Learn, make mistakes, hit zero, come back, and hit 10 billion. Like, whatever. Have a great day, everybody.